In Running a Fever episode 53, we talk about what's going on with my back and the new goals after the Biggest Loser contest.
I am Michael Davis, and I have lost 70 pounds and become a fitness nut at the age of 52, and this is Running a Fever, my journey of fitness, diet, and medicine. Medical department, I had a visit to my doctor yesterday, Saturday morning, very early, 5:45. It's 45 degrees and feels kind of cool to me. I'm wearing a winter cap, but not my sweatshirt. So yesterday was Friday. I went to the doctor. Pretty good news. He gave me good news about my arm, shoulder, back. This is why medicine is so important. This kind of stuff has been baffling me, right? I don't know why. I've got this pain and this thing here. You know, even why I've been having headaches. This kind of explains that. But it all could possibly have to do with me losing a lot of weight in a short period of time. A mistake that I made that endangered my health, and I am strongly recommending against it for you. And I'm going to have an opportunity to demonstrate that that can be done because I still have 30 more pounds to lose. And I'm not going to try not to lose any of that in the next few months while I build my metabolism back up. So we'll do that together. Apparently, and this makes perfect sense when you think about it. You know, I talked about my spine, me not being able to put my head down on the floor. When I lay down on the floor, I'm not able to even get my head down to the floor. It just kind of stops. Well, when you weigh a lot, it makes you're straining against the weight. In my case, a lot of it's right in front of me, so that throws off my center balance. My spine is sort of bending under that weight, or actually what it's doing is it's adjusting to the center of balance to keep me standing up and not just falling over all the time. I'll do a quick warm up before I even start walking because it's kind of cold. I just got up. So I'm going to take a picture. That moon looks really nice tonight, this morning. Back on the medical center of gravity, so I don't fall over. And so you wind up with the top of the spine is kind of curving back. And then in order to see and not be looking straight up at the sky, my head goes the other way. So you wind up being an S as opposed to an I. If you look at the shape of those letters, and that's a really rough approximation of what your spine should look like. Curvature is normal, but so several problems that might have caused the thing where my head doesn't come down because my spine's all curved abnormally for a person who's not quite as obese. And because I lost weight so fast, my spine didn't have a chance to adjust very quickly, and so it's still adjusting. So you can imagine with something like my spine adjusting, that's going to cause a little pain here and there. And I suggested an inversion table might help with that. A couple things. He suspects I might have scoliosis, and we've been through this before. I just never got the x-ray because I wasn't really sure that anything could be done about it, so I didn't bother to go deeper into it, but he gave me another prescription, so I'm going to get that and find out about the scoliosis. Because of the scoliosis, the sides of my body are different. One's kind of leaning over And the others, if you look closely at my shoulders, they slant a little bit. They don't go straight across. That could easily have affected, in addition to the spine issue, could easily have affected why my right arm only is having this problem. Because there is a sort of tendon, I guess, that goes from my neck all the way down my arm. Actually, it's a nerve. And it makes sense that it be a nerve. It does not feel like a muscular thing because, it comes and goes. And when it goes, it's completely gone. So there's no soreness left. So it makes sense that could be a nerve thing. And may correct itself in a couple of months, he says. Picking up the pace for one reason to warm up. Because I'm still kind of chilly here. Another reason is I got a lot to do today. I just want to get on with my day. And I start to it with some meditation on a reading from the book Jesus Calling, as I usually do. Reading from another book, it's a book called Guideposts, which is another daily reading book put out by Guideposts. But they kind of direct it toward the military. And they apparently put out one every year. Got it for free as a veteran. So we're still on the 1.5 week. So I'm going to try to do 1.5 miles today. Back on a little bit of a medical thing, that the monitoring program that I'm offering at work, that getting together with some people and just getting together a little weekly monitoring to help track all the things that get counted in at the insurance screening. So I got the 2 blood pressure machines that I was sent by the VA, 1 small cuff and 1 large cuff. Couldn't just send me 2 cups, but it works out fine because now I have 2 machines. And I could bring those in, and I took my own blood pressure yesterday, so I wanted to know how to do it. Of course, I should have been doing this on a regular basis. The whole reason they sent them to me. But another good thing about doing this thing and sharing it with other people, something we do work together, it's a lot easier to stay motivated and to keep doing it. So that's why I'm talking to you guys. So although my weight has actually taken me below the maximum BMI for my company, the blood pressure, I'm still over on the blood pressure. That's only $10 a month, but $10 is $10, to quote a comedian from years ago. So I think the next step is to start getting the sodium out of my diet. I'm already reducing my caffeine. And what I do, how I'm doing that is I just, I used to drink a full cup of coffee or 2 at work. And basically it was just, I could go down to 1 with no problem. And it's gone. It's not the amount of caffeine, I think. So I get down to 1, and then I've been sort of reducing that down to, I use a 16-ounce cup. So, I got down to about 12 ounces. And then I got down to about 8, and then I filled the rest up with decaf. So now I've got half calf. Right, 16 ounces, 8 ounces of calf, 8 ounces of half of decaf. So that makes it a little easier because the act of drinking the coffee is the same. Not to give up that, which I think is important. I think for a smoker, that habit, that act of putting a cigarette in your mouth may be just as important as the drugs, the effect that you get from taking that into your body. All right, we're past a quarter mile, and I'm on a regular straight, relatively straight. There's a big S right ahead of me as I speak, but heading west. And this is officially the 1 mile, so I've got half a mile in, so I just need another quarter, and then we'll head back. The next week, maybe 2 miles. So the caffeine, I'm confident I'll eventually just get rid of totally. Salt, I imagine, is probably the biggest factor after that. So I'll either ask my doctor when I see him, or I'll ask the dietitian when I see her on the 9th of April, which is a little more than a week from now. But another thing that was good news in talking to the doctor, he said, just if you're, he brought up the old doctor joke, it hurts when I do this, so don't do that. Basically, my shoulder, if I'm doing an exercise that, it hurts, then I need to back off from that. Otherwise, I can do probably whatever I want to do. Probably don't want to be too aggressive about it, though. So, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe my 25-pound weights might be too aggressive, and maybe I should go get some 15s. I don't know. And I'm thinking I think we have a really cheap gym close by, very close by. I'm just really fortunate that so many things are near my house. So I'm thinking about going up there. Really bright moon. It looks like a full moon to me, lighting up the streaks of clouds in the sky. Really beautiful, and my camera probably would not catch it. I'm going to get an inversion table. I just don't know which one. I know the brand, but they've got like 4 models, and they're all pretty close to the same price. I don't know the difference so far, just from researching it just a little bit. When it comes to my health, no time to waste. No time to waste. The most important thing to me. I think the 3/4 mile is somewhere right in the middle of this long straight stretch of the trail. It's Saturday, it's early, but I can already hear traffic on the major streets. The hustling, bustling society we have here. Alright, there we are. 3/4 mile point. Speaking of which, now that I'm going 1.5 miles, there is plenty of leeway in there for a warm-up, cool-down, and a run. I'm not running yet. I've got all these things going on in my body right now. And the experience of last time, I think what I want to do is stretch out distance, get my pace up. And I think one of the things that I've been telling you is not true. Another doctor question, note to self, write this down. I think that maybe the body does burn calories at a faster rate when you're running. And I don't mean faster in the sense that if you go the same distance, it's the same. I mean faster in the sense that you can go a shorter distance. Yeah, some people think of this in terms of time, which would not dispute my theory, so I need to figure that out. But I think your body is sensing that it needs more energy, and so it's going to draw that more quickly. But I have to confirm that with someone who knows more about it. And if I get up over 5 miles, if I can get to 5.5 miles, then that's a whole loop around this place. Well, confession time, diet report. Actually, I told you I was going to have a so-called cheat meal, and there really are no cheat meals in my diet. Absolutely nothing is completely excluded from my diet as a rule. I may choose to exclude things like bread. Honestly, I don't care much for bread. I like it, but it's not important enough to me to spend a lot of calories on it. This is a slight incline at the end of the S on the way back here. It's been a while since I've gone this way. Going the other way, I went to the marina once. I think I haven't done this since at least last week. And my pants keep falling down because I have nothing to hold them up. Okay, 1 mile point, half a mile to go. I did have the delicious Casano's pizza, and I've been drinking a little bit, not alcohol, just fluids before that, but that made me really feel dehydrated, and so I drank a lot more water, and this is how much if you stop eating and drinking for 60 hours, you'll lose weight. I mean, you will lose weight. So I lost 8 pounds in just 2 days. And I gained them all back in one night. Why? I mean, I did a lot of walking during that time, but that's not the reason. The reason is that all the water that would normally be in my system was gone. You know, that's a gallon of water. Plus all the food that would normally be in the process of digesting in my body was gone. I don't know how many pounds that is, but 8 pounds is a gallon. So it probably wasn't a gallon of water, but you know, there's some mix in between. My diet was already pretty low going into this, really for the whole week. So I shouldn't be discouraged or think that it's the pizza that I ate. It's not the case. It's just the case that really the weight before I started fasting is the actual weight. So now, instead of being 70 pounds down, I'm 61 pounds down. Now that's going to level out because I'm not going to ramp up to an 1,800 calorie diet just overnight. I'm going to have to go back to the between 800 and 1,200 diet. It actually was 7 pounds that one night. I think I gained a pound overnight tonight as well, but it's still probably part of the same process. Not completely hydrated. So we'll probably continue to drop a little bit of weight, which is okay. I just really want to kind of stay above 204, not too far above it. So I don't think that'll be a problem because I have been able to maintain some pretty consistent weight, you know, within a pound or two by sticking to that 800 to 1,200 calorie range. And then hopefully we'll stabilize, and then I'll be able to bring that back up to 1,500 or 1,800 calories, which would be a more normal rate. And I'll see how my metabolism changes. You know, I think the health app is kind of helping. None of this is super accurate. It's just a ballpark estimate that I can use to compare, you know, track my progress. You know, so even if, you know, one day something's 25, the next day it's 100, those are probably not accurate, but the, you know, difference, which is like 67.5 or something, live mass. I'm not really sure, but you get the picture. It's the relative distance between the numbers that is really important. So the number of calories that I can burn is going to be shown in that. And coming up, since it's almost April, I will probably get another body composition from Complete Fitness. Although I told you about that scale, a lot of that stuff I might not get the groovy printout, but I can still track those numbers with a less expensive method. So as far as burning calories, the app does give me a pretty good estimation and says, okay, you burned this many calories, so you're X number of calories over your daily allocation, I guess. All right, 10th of a mile to go. Slowing down. Pretty good pace there. So slowing down at work too. I'm not, for the last couple of days or so, I was doing 4 laps every hour, which is 880 steps. So I would be at 6,000 or 7,000 steps before I even left work. I'm not going to do that. I need to scale back a little bit. So I was definitely walking a lot more at work than I was out here, and I was doing it on the off days. So I want to stop doing that and just still get up and walk, but not be like pushing a step count or anything. Do a lap or 2, maybe 2 of my workout days and 1 of the non-workout days. Of course, now I am doing an isometric workout on the off days from my walking, running workout. So I'm really doing a workout every day. Hi. 2 cyclopses greet each other with their headlamps on. I'm gonna scale that back. Still try to keep up the water regimen. And I think I've gotten to where I could, get a 150, 200 ounces a day. Another thing, note to self, ask the doctor about really trying to get him to answer more medical questions. So I really take advantage of his time and expertise. Well, glad I wore the hat. I warmed up a little bit there at the end, but it's pretty cold out there. I mean, it's another one of those things where, 48 degrees, I can wear short sleeves to work, but I'm not going to be out for 45 minutes. Just going to be going from the car to the office. It's not really being out in the cold, literally speaking. Feel good, and I may start working out in the morning, every morning. I may just start doing that, or at least during my walking workouts. And some of the things, it's amazing how just talking to a medical professional, not just who has gone to medical school, but who's treated people for years, has experience all of these things. And it all just kind of falls into place because he knows what he's talking about. And, when overweight people are trying to do sit-ups and it's hard for them, it's not just because they have a heavier weight to lift or they have all this, bulk around their gut. Also because the spine is deformed. That's what I'm dealing with now, trying to do these ab exercises and just killing my back. Did them last night because I, figured out I wasn't going to get out to run. So I did my leg lifts, and I even did the reverse crunches or inverse crunches. And I was bent over the rest of the night because my back was all out of whack, and then felt it a little bit this morning too. I'll probably get on a pretty regular dose of ibuprofen for a while. It's going to help with this healing process, hopefully, and make it a little more comfortable for me. And just in case I publish this, I thank you for listening. Go get the fever at runningfever.com. Thanks.
This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.